What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Certified Commanders. It's that man, Abu, is brother man. And today I got my binoculars out, man. I got my bifocals out, man. I got my radar vision goggles out, man. Not for the stars, though. We're not talking about the stars today. Not for the breakout players. We're going to talk about that later in the week. But ahead of OTA starting the end of this week, this is for the guys who got a lot to prove, not just to me, but to the fan base, to their teammates, to the position coaches, to their coordinators, and yes, to the head guys in charge, Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. Now, these aren't cut candidates. I already did a video on cut candidates. You can check that out if you want to. Appreciate you. These aren't guys that I'm rooting against. These are just players who need to show us something in 2026. Because the Brotherhood is real, but the Brotherhood needs to come with standards. Man, let's get into it, man.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it, man. Hey, once again, I appreciate you for clicking on that thumbnail. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, beat up the comment section, all that good there. Let's get to it, man. Hey, Mikey, you up first, buddy. Mikey Sainristil is the first name in the binoculars. When I looked at my binoculars, man, I see Mikey Sainristil's name first. Because year one, he was excellent. Played fast, played confident, played like a guy who belonged. Year two, the struggles were real. The struggles were consistent. You know what I'm saying? The same consistency he showed last year wasn't there this year. And I'll be honest, I cannot trust Mikey Sainristil on the outside boundary for 17 games this season. I can't trust him for 17 games right now on the outside. I'm sorry. Even though he plays better on the boundary, I can't trust him for 17 games. Man. And the front office told you exactly how they feel. They went and signed Amik Robertson, a player brought in to play the exact role we hoped Sainristil would thrive in by now. Ain't that crazy? That's not a coincidence. That's a message. Mikey isn't getting cut. He ain't getting cut. We're not talking about that. But he needs to show that he can be more than a rotational piece. He needs to show that he can be a reliable outside corner in a division full of elite receivers. He needs to show that he needs to show his worth. Even if they go out and get a guy like Trevon Diggs. Mikey still needs to show us what he can do and show us that he's an asset. I digress, man. I digress. Next, Dyami Brown. Hey, man, my biggest thing about Dyami came to us with the sideburns looking like Ludacris, and now he's back with us coming from Jacksonville. His whole beard now touch. His whole beard connects. So this is a new guy. This is a new Dyami Brown. Hopefully he's learned a lot within this past year that'll allow him to take leaps and bounds into becoming the wide receiver that he wants to be, becoming the wide receiver that we need him to become. But as far as Dyami Brown, man, he left Washington for Jacksonville and came back with nothing to show for it. Let's be honest. His Jaguars stat line, barely anything. No real production, no real impact, no real reason for Jacksonville to keep him, and that's why he's here. I watched Jacksonville every chance I get last year. I watched Jacksonville, not because of him, but because of Travis Hunter. And I couldn't find Dyami anywhere. I couldn't find him making plays anywhere. And let's be honest, this signing of Dyami Brown is not permanent. This is a prove it, show me something, earn your spot type of deal. And I hope you understand that. Dyami has the speed, he has the traits, but traits don't matter if you don't produce. This is his last chance to prove he belongs in an NFL rotation, in a Commanders rotation. Even if we go out and get a guy like Stefon Diggs, I still believe that Dyami has a role. Is he going to maximize his role this season? That's the question. Moving on from Dyami, and we're going to talk about a guy that's been quiet. Talk about a guy that I haven't heard a lot of. He hasn't really been a part of the conversation, but he definitely getting paid still. In the last year of his rookie deal, you got Quan Martin. This is the last time I seen him on the field. The last time I seen Quan Martin on the field, he was taking back a pick 6 against Jared Goff. And we was going on to beat the Detroit Lions to go and meet the Eagles in the championship game. That's the last time I noticed Quan Martin. I digress. But like I said, Quan, you on a rookie deal countdown, man. That's why you up here. And his 2025 season was a fall off season. The stats back it up. Fewer splash plays back it up. Fewer forced incompletions. Missed tackles is big. And a noticeable drop in snap count as the season went on. This is a player who was drafted to be a versatile chess piece, a nickel, a safety, a hybrid. But right now, he's fighting to prove he's even part of the long-term plan. Quan Martin is lucky that we got a guy in Durante Jones that can only see the good in you. And that's what made Durante Jones a special coach, is that he only chooses to see the good in you, and he chooses to exploit that. You don't want to try to fit a round peg in a square hole. But as far as Quan Martin, Quan needs a bounce back here. Period. Let's move on. Johnny Newton. You next. Johnny, man. I don't know. We got guys for you too. Hey, man, this shit getting critical, man. Anybody can get it. This is what I love the AP did. AP brought in, if AP ain't do nothing else, he brought in competition. He brought in competition. Johnny Newton, I'm watching you closely, bruh. I'm turning up the vision on these bifocals, man. I'm trying to zoom in on Johnny Newton, man. I'm watching you closely, brother. Not because you bad, but because the front office made moves around you that should make you feel uncomfortable. They brought in a Minahu. They brought in Tim Settle. Shout out Settle, man. We should have never got rid of Tim Settle, man. Bringing Tim Settle back now clearly shows you that we should have made a decision between Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. And we all know that Jonathan Allen should have been the one to get traded, get whatever back then. Tim Settle should still be a Commander. I digress. But they added bodies that can play your role and potentially make you obsolete, Johnny Newton. If you don't take the next step, shit gonna get critical. Johnny Newton has flashed, but flashes aren't enough anymore. And as of last year, he was quiet the entire year until like the last couple games where he tried to show. Man, look, I got a rule of thumb. When our Super Bowl last season was against the Seahawks. Once we lost to the Seahawks on Monday Night Football, our season was gone. And I don't count no stats after that. I don't count production after that. Because once you playing when we don't got nothing to play for, how can I trust you when we do got something to play for? This is the year he needs to show he's a foundational piece, not just a rotational piece. Johnny Newton. Next up, we gotta talk about Brandon Coleman, man. I like Brandon Coleman. I like that he came in, played that left tackle role first year, and he wasn't special. He wasn't the best, but I think he did enough to allow Jaden Daniels to have the year that he had. And now I can't find him for nothing. The man without a position, Brandon Coleman. I couldn't have said it better. Brandon Coleman, you might honestly be closer to the cut candidates list than the watch list. But I'm gonna do you a favor and put you on the I'm gonna put you on the binoculars list. I ain't gonna put you on the cut list right now. He's been moved From guard to tackle to guard. He's been injured. He's been outplayed. And now Chris Paul has replaced him. At this point, Coleman's best move might be having... Hey, at this point, Brandon Coleman's best move is probably having his agent find a trade partner. Because I don't know where he fits on this roster anymore. He's not getting cut today, but he's absolutely on notice. I got my bifocal, I got my binoculars out for him. And lastly, this is a guy that everybody loved too. But I don't understand it. He showed flashes last year, but I still don't understand the overwhelming love for Jacoskry Little Bill Murray. He made plays like that, but again, he made plays like this once the season was gone. I don't count nothing after the Seahawks game. Everything before the Seahawks, every game before the Seahawks game mattered. Every possession mattered. Anything after the Seahawks game last season, I don't count. I don't count. I'm sorry. This is my rule of thumb. It's just my philosophy. Sorry. And as far as Lil Bill, his 2025 stat line with minimal touches, with minimal yards, minimal impact, with the fumbling occurring last year, which bit into his playing time. When you're a late round pick, you have to prove yourself every single motherfucking day. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get guaranteed reps. You don't get patience. And right now, the Commanders can't find a spot for him to develop. He's too small to depend on for 17 games. That's why I don't understand the love that, and I'm not hating, but I just don't understand the love that Lil Bill got, and why Brian Robinson don't get the same love, don't get the same respect. Brian Robinson was a part of that team that went, 15, 16 games last season, or the first season. Brian Robinson was that perfect yin and yang to Jaden Daniels' finesse. It seems as though that Cliff Kingsbury got too cute. Cliff Kingsbury wanted more yards per average production. But what the Seattle Seahawks showed you all of last year and into the Super Bowl, they showed you that it's not about the yards per run. It's about how many times you run. It's about how many times are you going to stick to the game plan. It's about how many times are you going to stick to your identity. And that's what the Seattle Seahawks showed us last year. They didn't have a great yards per run average, but they still kept at it. They still ran the football. And when they needed to run a play action, the play action worked because they had a vision. They had a goal that they stuck to. And the real question is for Bill, like, what does he do that Rachaad White and Kaytron Allen can't do? It's probably just speed. But is that enough to put him in a starting role over Kaytron Allen when I told you right now, the finesse guy in that backfield is Jaden Daniels. We don't need no finesse in that backfield. We need a guy that can catch the ball and a guy that's a thumper. Those are the main traits that we need for our running back, a thumper and a guy that can catch the ball. And if you can't answer what Bill does that Kaytron Allen and Rachaad White can't do, your role becomes very much unclear this year. Let me be clear. Because, sometimes whenever you speak on things that aren't in the most glowing nature, people think that you have it out for some guys and you don't want to see them succeed. I definitely want to see them succeed, man. But let's be clear. None of these players are getting cut today. This isn't a hit piece. This ain't, I'm not trolling today. This isn't about negativity. This is just reality. Somebody got to get cut. And somebody's going to get cut that we weren't thinking about, that we that we hope will have a great season, somebody's gonna get cut. These players need to figure out where they fit in Dan Quinn's Brotherhood, because the Brotherhood isn't just a vibe anymore. It's accountability. It's competition. It's proving yourself every single day. And in 2026, these are the guys I've got my binoculars on. Certified Commanders family, Commanders universe. Let me know who you watching for this season. Let me know who you got your binoculars out for this season. Let me know who you gotta zoom in on this season. Let me know who's that guy for you. Beat up the comment section with those answers, man. It's Certified Commanders. It's that man Abu. It's brother man. Thanks for clicking on that thumbnail and watching the video. It's another video. We got OTAs starting this week. At the end of this week, OTAs will start. And shit gonna get critical, man. Let's go.